Hello out there to everyone. This is a special video response to The Gaming Community, Love Not War by Njenkin. Nick, definitely check out his video first if you want to. Nick made a very good video that I felt, begged for, a video response of some sort. I'm going to briefly summarize his video for you. Basically, he got a comment a couple weeks ago. I think he says social media, so I'm thinking, Facebook or Twitter or something. And somebody pretty much giving him like bullet points and stuff about how he could better improve his channel, and it kind of affected him. You can tell by the way he looks, that it got to him. And most of the people in the responses to the video, are they're just saying, oh, just it's just a troll or whatever, brush him aside. And to be fair, I think Nick has all the right points himself, but it's still like, I see where he's coming from. I think it's affecting him. It's not, despite the comments saying, oh, just brush him aside because he's a troll. I think it's still like, I think Nick doesn't necessarily think it's a troll, and that's why it affected him. He made this video, The Gaming Community, Love Not War, and this is why I got the fire going. It's not that cold outside, so this is all mood effect. Plus the Amiga right here, my female Spanish friend, to signify love. Does everybody feel in the mood? The first thing this guy did to Nick was he said basically, well, you think you're better than everybody else. I think that's kind of, that was kind of the first thing that got to Nick. It was like, your channel just comes off as better than everybody else. There's like an ego arrogance thing or something coming off is the first thing, and that must have been what got to him, I think, more than anything else that he said. Because that's just if you've ever watched Nick, like, where do you get off saying that he thinks he's better than everybody else? He's just this guy coming off very lightheartedly. I guess it's the sense of humor. Like, you either have a sense of humor, or you don't, or it's in a different area and you just don't understand this other area. I think that must be where him thinking that Nick is arrogant is coming from. He's not arrogant. I don't see how you could do it. Like, he makes these playful videos where he looks at a game for 5-10 minutes, and like he's making jokes and he's asking questions. I've never seen any arrogance coming off of the man. I don't see where that's coming from. I've been subscribed to Njenkin for, I don't know, maybe 2 years or something, and I've always highly enjoyed his channel. I found him, I believe, just through like searching, things. He's a small channel. He's only got 300 subscribers, which is 3 times more than I have. but he's a small channel. And I have to say, I watch pretty much all of his videos. If I don't get to watch them right away, I hit watch later, and I'll get to them eventually if I don't have the time. But I watch pretty much everything he does. I don't see where the arrogance thing is coming from. I want to speak from experience a little bit from having my own channel. Now, I think a lot of people might think that I come off as arrogant in my videos, that I think I'm better than everybody else, which is, well, it's not the case. I don't think I'm better than anyone. In real life, I think I'm pretty shitty. Quite honestly, I think I'm pretty damn lousy in real life. The arrogance thing only comes from, like, having an opinion. Like I said, I'm here making reviews, opinionated reviews of games, and I've got to be opinionated. If you're making reviews, you got to be. And I have a message, and long before I was making videos, I was commenting. I've been on YouTube for a very, very long time. I was here watching other people, enjoying other videos, making comments. I was being a part of the community. I don't know how many of them remember me through just my comments, but because I wasn't somebody that commented every fucking second, but when something was relevant to the conversation, I would comment. And I do believe when I did comment, I would, make an impact of some sort. I never said anything unless I felt it was powerful in some way. Really, the only reason I'm even here making videos is because of certain YouTubers that got a little big, too big maybe. This channel wouldn't. This channel would not be making videos if a certain YouTuber who I had given sincere, not even advice. Like I just, I'll go ahead and say it. LGR, who is one of the biggest, you know, computer-related gaming channels out there. You know, long before the children had gotten to the Sims videos and made him huge, like I was there and I was commenting on his stuff, and he used to respond to me occasionally. And if any of you out there hate me, you have LGR to thank for me, really. And it's not because I liked his stuff. I do like his stuff. I did like his stuff, but I didn't make videos because I liked his stuff. I made videos because I thought there were several areas that he was lacking in. He had gotten like a string of games in edutainment, educational month. I hate the word edutainment. I always did. But in his educational month thing, he'd gotten like a string of videos, and it's like a whole month every week. You know, there's another educational game, and the whole string of them were just bad. Like they had nothing to offer other than being educational in nature. I honestly felt like it had gone too far. That he was just doing it just to do it. Like, oh, any educational game I can find, let's review it. So I gave him, like, I didn't even say that I thought it was bad or anything. I just gave him the advice of, there's this game on the Amiga, and it's called Discovery, and I think you could do a lot with it. I think if you got this game and played it, you could make a very good video out of it. And I don't know, like 3-4 years later, I'm still waiting for Discovery from LGR, and he didn't. Obviously, he for whatever reason, he did not seem interested in Discovery, which has the fucking Amiga talking throughout it. It's an educational game that has the Amiga speaking. It uses the Amiga's built-in voice synthesizer. Apparently that's not worthy of Edutainment Month. So my first review was of Discovery on the Amiga. First review. Which was a kick at LGR. I made Discovery because LGR would not. And you pretty much have LGR to thank for me, you know, whether you like me or hate me. You can look at my channel and you can easily say, oh, he just points the fucking camera directly at the monitor. Yes, I do. But I do a lot of shit to that footage afterwards via editing that, in my eyes, makes it look as close to what I see on the actual monitor than any emulator could ever give you, than any capture card could ever give you. And there are downsides to that, like the fucking lines that come across the screen sometimes. But the overall experience, it's a choice. Like, I don't point my camera at the monitor because I don't have capture software. I point it at the monitor because that's my style. That's what I like. That's what I think looks best. I have an opinion, and I'm here on YouTube. I don't feel like that I'm arrogant. Like, even LGR, like I said, oh, I'm better than LGR. It's not really. Like, I don't really think I'm better than LGR. I'm still subscribed to LGR. I still like some of the stuff that he does, and some of the stuff I don't like. But I am, most certainly, I'm different than LGR. I offer something that he doesn't give. And I offer something for the Amiga world that nobody else gives, and that's the American perspective. I had an Amiga when I was a kid in America, and I think that the European perspective has gotten a lot of things wrong, not only in terms of the overall impact of the Amiga in America, but in terms of actually showing the content. Like, they show American games in this widescreen mode, which, I'm going to tell you, in America, they never looked like that. They appeared in America filling this entire screen in 4:3. In Europe back in the day, they appeared widescreen. It was a technical hardware thing. And the other reason you have me on YouTube, you have an emulator to thank for it, WinUAE. If WinUAE did not default into PAL mode, I would not be here. If all footage from the Amiga showing American games was not shown incorrectly, I would not be here. You have an emulator to thank for me being here as well. I have to say I've been fairly lucky in the comments that have come on my channel and my videos directly. I think that I present myself in a way that doesn't really invite trolls so much. I'm kind of surprised. Like, I've said some controversial things. People say the Amiga meant nothing except there were 4 Amiga stores nearby me. And there were, 4 in every major city. But they didn't mean anything in America. After the 80s, like, nobody in America cared about the Amiga except, a game like Civilization on the Amiga would not have been made if it wasn't for the Americans. A budget title doesn't get released in America and everybody thinks that the Amiga meant nothing here. Like, no. It's not the case. I have a message to say, and it's actually, so far you might think, well, maybe with me it's not about love. Maybe that's not the case. So far my message has been, well, I don't like this guy, I don't like that guy. No! My message actually is love, and like, I'm a direct response. My existence on YouTube is a direct response to there not being enough love. There are lots of love. There's lots of love for the Amiga, especially in Europe these days. And I felt like, and they would occasionally say things like, Kim Justice is a big offender of this. Kim Justice goes on there and makes these historically based kind of like, it's in a historical style kind of video. Like, he's presenting it almost like a documentary. And then he goes on there and he gives his very strong opinions, definitely, but he presents them in a documentary style. So they don't come off as opinions. They come off as researched facts, which they aren't. And he'll go out there and he'll say, he'll say that, the Amiga meant nothing in America. And he'll point to this guy that ran Commodore UK, and this guy is like saying, oh, I had Commodore in the black in the UK. If only everybody had done what I had suggested. And everybody thinks that this guy is, he's got no bullshit. He's not there. Like, he's there spouting the truth. He's telling it out as it is, and nobody realizes that this guy is selling you something. Like, he's part of books, and he's going to conventions where maybe he gets paid, and maybe he's trying to sell you an opinion. He's like, in his world, yes, he could have saved Commodore, but he also says stuff like, oh, well, I packaged these games with Batman, and I put it in Toys R Us, and you'll say, oh man, America should have done that. America should have done that? I'm sorry to say, if you think America should have followed what the UK did in terms of the Amiga, you are insane. Because if America had sold the Amiga at Toys R Us, Commodore would have, the entire company, UK included, would have gone bankrupt in the 80s. I'm telling you, Commodore did everything they could in the 80s and 90s to distance themselves as far away from the thought of the Commodore 64 being this pretend play computer. Like, okay, yeah, it was a computer, but yeah, it's really just a game machine, and it's like the lowest cost thing. It's just cheap, and let's, forget everything. Like, Commodore was attempting to get in with the likes of Apple in the 80s, in the late 80s and 90s. They were attempting to become a brand people, would cling to. They did not want that cheap image computer kind of thing. And you should see some American reviews of things like the like the CD TV. Like, wow, you should just see, like, not even reviews, like the people that bought Amigas were panning this thing. How dare you? How dare you go back to the Commodore 64? How dare you betray us? You know how hard it was to build this dealer network? We have a network of people that sell computers, that sell Amiga computers, and now you're going to make this thing? And what are you going to do? You're going to sell it at Toys R Us? The Amiga in America was a completely different market, made up of very, like, much older people than it was in Europe, with a lot more money and a lot different taste in games and software. They bought a lot of software in America, a lot of word processors and things. Things that didn't interest the Europeans so much. And I'm not here to bash Europeans in any way, sense, or form. I'm simply here to say that there are people bashing Americans, and that's popular to do. It's very popular to do because in so many areas, Americans are very arrogant in a lot of areas. And I've noticed when the world has a chance to do the same to America because we fucked up in some way, oh my God, oh, they're on it. They're on it. It's like they don't practice what they preach exactly. When other people have the chance to bash us, they are very quick to do it. And with the Amiga, I am of the opinion that you're bashing for the wrong reasons. You think that the Amiga meant nothing in America, and I'm here to tell you that the only reason you don't see a bigger voice on YouTube from the American side is because those people that loved the Amiga, plenty of people loved the Amiga in America. I would say the second biggest market in the world other than Germany for the Amiga. More people bought it in America than anywhere else except Germany, including England, including the UK. I'm here as a result of these certain Europeans saying very, like, snide, like, comments, like, and their overall review, like Kim Justice, his overall review might be very great, and it might even tug at your heart a little bit, but he loves to put little snide comments in there every once in a while, and particularly when he can do a UK versus American thing, he's right on it, like. And that's where I come in. Like, my arrogance has never been a result of, like, of my own arrogance. It's a result of me perceiving other people's arrogance. But I felt, because of my channel and how opinionated I am, and how maybe perhaps there are viewers that think I'm very arrogant, that I thought this video would be, you know, especially important to make a reply on, to say that I completely agree with Nick. Like I am here for love. I just wish, like, there would be more love for, like, I wish there was more love out there. I wish that people playing Amiga games would take some time to research them and see, okay, this is an American game, and nobody else shows American games correctly online. Maybe I should too. Perhaps I should, you know, increase the amount of videos that show them correctly. And even like LGR, like, you type in Amiga 500 on YouTube, and the first video you're going to see is his review on it, which is going to go on and on about how NTSC machines are so terrible. And again, like, it's an opinion. Like, LGR apparently happens to love side-scrollers. And apparently a lot of these side-scrollers would not work on his NTSC Amiga, and this made him say that NTSC Amigas are bad, to the point where I think people watching that video might even throw out an NTSC Amiga if they were to come across one, which I believe is a disservice to the community. I'm telling you right now, I could review only American Amiga games for the entire life of my channel, and I would have plenty of material to work with. I don't really think I'm better than LGR. I have a different opinion, and I think if people were to listen to the opinion, if maybe they won't believe my opinion, but I think it will make them stop and think. Nick also went on about how this guy had some comments about his equipment, and like he gave him like, oh, you should be like this channel or this channel or this channel. He didn't give word for word what exactly was said, so I can only imagine that he was like perhaps going for like an LGR. Perhaps he did mention an LGR or Kim Justice or something. I don't know. The thing about that is, I bet you anything. Like if Nick gave me the list of people that this guy thinks he should be emulating, I bet you anything I could go down the list one by one and give you a bunch of things that they do that perhaps isn't so great, that from my perspective isn't so awesome. Like an LGR, who these days when LGR makes videos, he's gotten himself a very nice SLR camera which has like a focusing thing, and you will notice that he starts off almost every single shot that he does, he starts off out of focus. He brings it into focus, and he takes it out of focus again. Almost every fucking shot, when you look at a hardware review that LGR does, is like that. One after another, after another, after another, and honestly, it's like people on YouTube, they're getting way too big for their own, pants, honestly. They've gotten some money, and they've gotten some fame, and they're looking at other things. Okay, what? They looked at television all of a sudden. Okay, and like say you watch an episode on the History Channel of how stuff works, and they'll show some huge machinery in a factory, and they'll have things out of focus, and they'll bring it into focus, and they'll take it out of focus. It's like he was watching, he's watching cable, and he's like, oh, this is a cool effect. Let's do it every single shot. It's like you purposely put yourself from the top tier of YouTube to the very bottom tier of cable television. That's how it comes across, because it comes across as amateur. And there's a lot of people that I feel on YouTube go way too far with the technology. They don't understand why YouTube is successful, why it's even here, why the first fucking video on YouTube is just in the zoo, okay? Just somebody with a goddamn handheld camera at a zoo. They don't understand what YouTube is about, and when you voluntarily attempt to emulate cable, which a lot of people are cord cutting cable because they don't like cable, and what are you doing? You're going after cable. You're trying to compete with cable. The guy wants Nick to emulate, some other people. Like, you could have better videos if you do it this way. And then basically Nick is saying, I'm doing it my way. I'm doing it my way. Like, if every video was the same on YouTube, well, then it wouldn't be such a wonderful experience, would it? So, the differences is what makes everything great, and that's why I'm here, honestly. Like, I'm only here because I believe I'm different. If I felt everybody was like me, I wouldn't be here making anything. Like, if everybody shared my opinion, I wouldn't be here, saying, isn't it great to be in a world where everybody thinks like I do? Like, I would just be, I might watch the stuff, but I wouldn't be actively involved in it. I'm only here. I have to say for Nick, I've given lots of constructive criticism over the years, and it's honest. It's not meant to hurt anybody's feelings ever. It's never meant to hurt anybody's feelings, and I do my best. And I purposely don't comment on some things where I think it might come off the wrong way. I don't want to sound like an asshole. I don't. Sometimes somebody can say something that is so damn correct in the way it's formed, and even if you don't agree with the opinion, it's just formed perfectly in the sense that you can't argue with his opinion. there are certain ways. I think that's why I don't get too many comments, perhaps, on my videos, is because I don't think there's much. I don't come across as, like, Nick does a very awesome thing in his videos, and he's very good at engaging with the audience. He always, like, in his videos, he always, like, he asks questions, a lot of questions, like, did you have this game? Oh, do you remember this particular thing? He asks questions all the time, which I think invokes a response from the audience. I never ask questions in my reviews. I am very, it's not factually based. My opinion, usually my reviews are very opinionated, but they're so strong in their opinions that there's just not much room for anybody to say anything to me. And there are videos like that online where the only time, and you might really like their videos, but it's like the only time you can actually say anything is when they might have gotten something wrong. So you have something to say finally. It's like, well, actually, in this particular instance, this was the case, and it's difficult not to sound like an asshole. But in that circumstance, you're actually attempting to connect with the person in a way. Like, you're not trying to be an asshole. You're attempting to connect with them. It's constructive criticism. It's not easy for everybody to understand, and it is a thing, and it's a valuable thing, and don't anybody ever make the mistake. Anybody on YouTube, no matter how big or small you are, don't ever make the mistake of dismissing all criticism as being from a troll, because maybe there is something in there that you should take heart. And that is why I'm responding to this, is because I do feel like he was taking to heart a lot of this stuff because it didn't come across as a troll to him. Perhaps this guy commented before on stuff, I don't know. But obviously the way that this guy worded his stuff, it affected Nick. And I have to say, like, I have to say, I think Nick knows this. Nick says it all perfectly well, in a much more concise way than I'm going to say it. Nick has his own style. Nick has a style that is completely his own. Nobody else on YouTube is like Nick, just like nobody else is like me. Nobody else, like, there are people that are like a Nintendo nerd or like an LGR or something. There are people that do take the popular people and suck that in so much, and then there are people that are just their own deal. And a lot of time, honestly, we might never be popular in any sense. Like, we might never have any views or anything, but quite honestly, in my opinion, these channels like Nick's, like Paul Venturous, or Shadow's Nose, or Lactobacillus Prime, or Maxim RD, or Brian Davis, like these, there are channels that might forever be small, but in my eyes, they are 1,000 times more entertaining than a channel with 1 million views, with 500,000, 250,000, 10,000. Like, I believe the best content on YouTube comes from smaller channels, without a doubt. You might disagree with me. That is fine. I'm not here to have 1 million subscribers. I'm here to have friends, kind of. I don't want 1 million subscribers. I just want the right subscribers, however many or few of them as can be. You can watch a video of mine and have lines going across the screen sometimes because I point it directly at the monitor, and then the next video will be a fucking Super 8mm actual film, and then the next video will be me ranting about the Amiga or DOS or something. If you can handle that and want to subscribe, you're the kind of person that I want here. If you can handle video games, and then the next video will be Pogs. I'm playing Pogs. It's not about computing on this channel. It's about retro shit. Nick, like, his humor is completely his own. That's number one. And number two is, he asks so many fucking questions. I wish I could think of the questions that he thinks of during some of his videos. I might get a lot of better responses than I do. But then again, that's not my style. My style, I'm not here to ask. I'm here to make a point on a lot of my videos. I'm not necessarily here to get as much response as possible. Like, I'm here to say what I have to say. That's me. That's me. That's my unique thing. And I've got a lot to say. Nick, for a channel that has 600 subscribers, you'd think that he has 1 million, just based on the amount of content that he is able to. He's a trooper. So often he has content coming out. And he does other things too. He does some things that I've thought about stealing myself. Like his 2-week Roundup thing, where every 2 weeks he does a video where he just talks about every single video he did over the last 2 weeks. And he gives you a link to them and stuff like that. That's brilliant! I wish I could do that! I wish I did that. But then again, I don't make that many videos. Nick has his own style. And to hell with anybody that thinks Nick has anything to change or alter. Nick deserves, like, I'm going to tell you right now, I believe Nick deserves a hell of a lot more subscribers than he has. Definitely. But Nick deserves whatever he is supposed to get. However many amount. Destined to be small forever or huge. Nick deserves to get there the way he is right now. Exactly the way he is right now. Same with anybody. The larger question of, YouTube community, love, not war. I don't necessarily agree with that completely, because I do enjoy, like, the heated discussions a little bit. I do kind of. I'm here, making a point for the American side of the Amiga. And there is some heated discussion in that. But the overall picture actually is love. Like, I'm here because I do believe that Americans love the Amiga just as much as Europeans do. And I wish that the snide remarks that some people make occasionally about Americans when it concerns the Amiga, I wish they would be eliminated. Because they don't deserve to be there, because it's not true. Because you're not looking at it. You're thinking of it as a 30-year-old who was a little kid back in the day who played Amiga games in Europe. And I'm looking at it from a 30-year-old who had a dad who was into the Amiga in America. And that was the primary market in America. They're 60, 70 years old now. They're not on YouTube. So I'm here to speak for my father, really. That's me. I mean, it's a very unique perspective, I believe, and nobody else is offering it on YouTube. That's why I'm here. Nick is here to offer his very awesome sense of humor, and maybe you don't get it. Maybe you don't. In that case, why are you subscribed? Why are you even commenting? Honestly, with me, it is about love, and even if I make pot shots at certain people, it's like Nick said, it's like we have a friendly rivalry going here, and I might make fun, like in my last video, I made, fun of, I said, I wish people who did reviews finished the damn game sometimes, because it seems like most of the time they don't. But then again, like, some of my favorite YouTubers don't finish the games, like Paul Adventurous, like The Shadows Knows, like Nick, like, they don't finish the games. And I love their channels more than a lot of people. So, take it with a grain of salt. Like, it's just, I'm poking, because because that's kind of something I like about myself, that I do finish the games. That's something that I like about myself. And I'm not necessarily here, like, it's not my intention to bash everybody that doesn't do the same thing that I do. It's just to make the 100 people that seem to think I'm something okay, it's to give them more of a reason to stick around, I guess, okay? I am different. Just to highlight your differences as a reason to exist. And I believe I have a reason to exist on YouTube. I believe Nick has reason to exist. I believe LGR has a reason to exist, and Kim Justice. They all have reasons to exist, and I am subscribed to even the people that I have bashed. Like, there are people in the gaming community that are so huge, like a PewDiePie or Stampy Longnose or something. There are certain types that I don't even have anything to say about them, honestly, because I'm not subscribed to them. You know, I've looked at their stuff and why? I'm not subscribed to them. I could bash them a lot if I wanted to, but I'm not, like, I have nothing to say. I have no comments. They might have 1 million, they might have 20 million subscribers. I've got nothing to say. I've got nothing to say. But I am subscribed to an LGR or Kim Justice. Like, so I do feel like in those cases I do have that friendly rivalry going, because the only reason I'm here is because of them. Because I feel like I have something different to offer. And at the same time, I like them. So I'm still subscribed to them. I still like them. And there are certain things there's certain things that they're different. And let's celebrate. We should celebrate differences. And we should listen to differences. Because when you listen to all sorts of different opinions, like, you'll find you oftentimes come to the correct solution. Maybe their opinion is wrong. Maybe my opinion is wrong. Maybe if you listen to both of them, you can find a middle ground. Maybe that's something. I don't know. That's for you to decide. Anytime I say anything bad about YouTube or something, it's a friendly thing. It's not meant to be truly mad. In all honesty, I'm here because I love a computer. I'm here because I love this machine, the Commodore Amiga, and other machines like the NES or the Genesis or DOS. Like, for DOS, it's love and hate. It's a complicated relationship. It's fun. Here for friends, even. Like this. I am now reviewing the Fairy Tale Adventure on the Amiga, which I never played before, but I'm having a blast with it right now because for a friend, a request from a friend. No matter how many videos I make, I will always watch more videos than I make. I make videos on this channel, but this channel will always be more about other people's stuff. Always. We're all here for love. How many people love a fucking computer? Not that many. And it should be said, and Nick mentioned like how some awesome things happen in the YouTube gaming community every once in a while, like Main Meister, who had in a moment of judgment error or something deleted his channel, quickly brought it back, but it wasn't in time, and most of his subscribers were gone, and a lot of the YouTube gaming community came together and said, hey everybody, if you used to be subscribed to him, come on, you know. Mark Lactobacillus Prime shouted me out, and I got a whole bunch of subscribers because of that. That was awesome. I've shouted out some people too, to much lesser extent. You know, anybody that I only have 100 subscribers, and it's been a long haul to that many, so I'm not doing too much good. But by all means, let me shout out Nick while I'm at it. Why not? I've already mentioned Nick several times, actually, in some of my videos. I think in my Minecraft video I mentioned Nick. In my World Circuit video I mentioned Nick. Nick was a driver in my World Circuit video. So, anybody that... It's about love. I had a whole bunch of YouTubers in my World Circuit video, which is why I'm so pissed off that it only had 2 likes. Ah! Nick understands it. Like, Nick, he had everything right to say in his video. He knows what he is, and he knows he deserves to be here. But I felt, nevertheless, like, it affected him, and I felt like he deserved somebody to make a video response, and not just say in the comments, oh, that's a troll. Like, I don't know. Maybe that wasn't a troll. I don't know. I didn't see the comment. Maybe he was, maybe he wasn't. But I feel like in Nick's mind, it affected him a little bit. And when things affect you like that, yes, you can go through and you can justify yourself, but it's going to affect you anyway, and you're going to have a moment where you feel like shit. That's the power of word, you know? And I just wanted to say, Nick, your channel is awesome. I highly recommend it. You deserve to exist, most definitely. And don't fucking change a thing. Don't change a thing. I think I subscribed. I don't know how many. I don't remember how many subscribers you had when I subscribed to you, but I don't think it was many. When I hit subscribe, it didn't even occur to me. Okay, he has this many subscribers. Like, it didn't occur to me. Like, you're a good channel. That's why that's why I subscribed. There's no need. You know, like, you got plenty of games to work with. You got plenty of material to work with. You've got your own sense of style. That's you. That's Nick. That's Njenkin. He deserves to exist. And yes, it is about love. It just, we're here for an old systems and crap. We're here because we love something. Most people in the world, if we told them, they wouldn't understand. Sometimes I post some of this stuff on my Facebook, my personal Facebook page, to my friends, my actual friends, and like, it gets no response. Like, nobody gives a shit. No, none of my real friends give a flying fuck about any of this stuff. You guys do care, and quite honestly, sometimes I feel like I have more in common and connection with you guys than I do with my actual real life friends. So, like, you matter. You matter. Everybody here matters. Feel free, everybody, to take a look at Njenkin's original video. I'd love to hear your responses. You can put them in my comments if you want. But I would love for you guys to go over to Nick's channel and say I sent you, and comment there. Make a video response yourself if you want, and you know, tell him about it. And yeah, no, it's, please, like, if you feel, then you know, share. It's a nice video to watch. He's got a great channel with so many awesome games that he's played, and no, like, definitely check him out. He's worth it. That's all I have to say for this subject. Thank you, sincerely, for anybody. Some of my videos I've seen, they never link them or anything, but I have seen through searching that some of my material has been linked onto forums, and there are some opinionated people that really hate me on some forums out there. Love for you guys to come onto my video and say some of that stuff. Love for you to come. You know, every little bit helps. You know, come. If you hate me, say so.